Senator Rubio.
Thank you. Secretary Malinowski, we have on numerous occasions passed different tools now available to the administration. For example, the Venezuela Defense of Human Rights and Civil Society Act that we're trying to get reauthorized gives the administration the power to punish human rights abusers and those involved in corruption. So in Venezuela, the principal henchmen backing the autocratic Maduro regime, according to multiple published sources, everybody knows it, it's one of those things everybody knows, are cocaine smugglers, they're money launderers. For example, Diosdado Cabello, one of the leaders in the majority party, I guess the minority party now, but Maduro's party, Tariq al-Assimi, and there's just dozens of security officials and political leaders who are being investigated for this, not to mention dozens more of Venezuelan officials who have looted state-run enterprises, manipulate currency for their own pocketbook, and stealing from the people of this country while people are roaming the streets looking for food. Why hasn't Cabello or al-Assimi or any of these other thugs, why haven't these top-notch, high-level people been sanctioned?
Well, first of all, I agree with your assessment, and I agree that in many cases, even if we're looking at Venezuela as a human rights challenge or a democracy challenge, that coming at it from the standpoint of anti-corruption is both the right thing to do and a very effective thing to do, because, as I mentioned in my opening statement, stealing is the one thing you can't justify in any political context, no matter what your propaganda or ideology or support base, nobody can justify it. And so we have imposed sanctions on a number, as you know, of Venezuelan officials. In terms of visa bans, I think we're up to about 62 Venezuelans. Most of this we don't name because of the way in which our visa ban authorities are structured. But I can tell you that from my standpoint, having looked at who is responsible for some of the things that you just mentioned, we have captured virtually everybody against whom we have decent evidence of corruption, human rights abuses, including at a very high level. In fact, just yesterday I signed out a few more, so we should be up to more.
Well, again, I just think these two individuals, Cabello, who is the biggest thief among all of them, and Tariq al-Assimi in particular, are people that we should be focused on. It is not even a mystery. They don't even seem to hide it. And it's just shocking to me that we haven't taken it, because we've done this against other people in other parts of the world, and we've named them, and the world knows. Not only do they have a visa ban, I mean, there are people involved in the Maduro regime who are spending their weekends in Miami, spending the money they're stealing from the Venezuelan people, while people in Venezuela, a rich country, by the way, are like rummaging through garbage in the streets every day for basic goods. It makes no sense to me. Then you've got the right-hand man of the president of El Salvador, Jose Luis Moreno. This guy is a top-notch, world-class money launderer, arms smuggler for the FARC, hundreds, millions of dollars of laundering for the FARC, as well as corrupt Venezuelan officials. Why is this guy not sanctioned?
That one I'll have to take back, Senator.
Okay, well, I'll keep pointing. What about the FARC? You're familiar with them.
Indeed.
This is a group that profits from cocaine smuggling, earning probably close to $1 billion annually, according to Colombian authorities and underinformed sources. What is our status with them vis-a-vis sanctioning them?
Well, they've been in this, as far as I
they're
recall, they're on the FTO list, and they have been sanctioned over the years.
They're economically, and not just named as a terrorist organization. Are we actively targeting their monies as they move them across territory and borders?
I believe that over the years, as a named foreign terrorist organization, that we have done so, yes.
Okay. And that won't be impacted by the peace deal? Has there been any discussion between the Colombian government and ours about easing any of that as a result of this peace agreement between the president of Colombia has just signed and the FARC?
We support peace in Colombia, but I think we have been clear that in terms of our law enforcement and other equities, that remains.
All right, Ms. Smith, the United States has already invested upwards of, I don't know the exact figure, billions of dollars, let's say, in Haiti. And most Americans understand the humanitarian nature of our response and agree with that. However, I don't think it's fair to expect the American taxpayer is going to continue to help fund elections that are overthrown because the parties are dissatisfied with the outcome. So let's have another one because we don't like who won. So can you give us an assessment of what the current programs are in Haiti? And at this point, are they eligible to continue to receive U.S. tax dollars after what we've seen now over the last year and a half?
Thank you, Senator. And one thing that we will do is get you a comprehensive summary of all the programs. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the vast bulk of our assistance doesn't go directly to governments. So that in a country like Haiti, part of what we are trying to do is work with independent associations, civil society, to do the painstaking, slow work of enabling them to, again, hold governments accountable, hold up their own. I will say to you that I think Haiti is one of the greatest development challenges we face. There's no way to cast it as otherwise. The institutions are extremely weak. Violence and crime, as you know, are on the increase. We are doing our best in some sectors to get some gains in health, food security, and so on. I think governance remains the biggest challenge. We'll get you a summary of the programs, but in terms of eligibility, I think there are a couple questions we need to think about. One, again, we are very careful about cases where we provide government-to-government money. It is a tiny percentage of our budget, and I think Haiti is one where it would not make a great deal of sense. But the second is we face the challenge as USAID, and I think as the United States, of sometimes not having the luxury of saying, well, this is just too hard, we're not getting any traction, so we should get out. I think we know what the consequences are in a country like Haiti if we are not present and if we disengage. But I will also confess to you, it is an uphill struggle and a constant struggle to try to get progress.
Yeah, the way I probably should have stated the question is the biggest complaint we get when we interact with them is they want us to coordinate more of our aid through the government, even if it's not government to government. They want us to use their locally based organizations, the people that they pick. And I guess my point is I am as sympathetic as anyone in the Senate about what's happening in Haiti and the fight and the situation that they're facing. I also have, at this point, very low confidence, perhaps no confidence, that the people they're telling us we should be working through are the right people, given the history both electorally and otherwise. We are sympathetic there. Believe me, I care deeply about what's happening there. But what I've seen out of the political class in Haiti, I should say for close to 80 years, but certainly over the last few, is unacceptable. And I will hope that as we continue to look for ways to continue to engage there, that what you are saying here is in fact the direction that if it is in fact the direction we're on, that we continue to be on. I'll say it point blank, I have zero confidence that if the Haitian government tells us we want you to work through this group versus that group, that there is not some deep element of corruption or even political influence at play. And I'm out of time, but we also saw as well Senator Grassley's report about the lack of gains that the Red Cross made in Haiti. And we're also deeply concerned about that. Obviously, that's not necessarily taxpayer dollars, but that is the sort of challenge we face there and continue to face there, because it is a place where even if you want to help, oftentimes it becomes impossible because someone needs to get paid off just to make it possible. And so I hope that we'll continue to be, but I just wanted to lay out the point. This is not a forever proposition here. There has to be some progress there, or I can't justify to taxpayers, no matter how deeply moved I am about the circumstances there, that we're going to continue to pour money into a black hole, where the money doesn't come out in a positive way.
And if I may, Senator, I'm in agreement with that. I can't justify it either if we're pouring dollar after dollar without getting returns. I think there are some places where, again, it's slow, but we can get traction. But I think you also raise a very important point. Because on the one hand, from a development perspective, we want to strengthen government institutions and enable them to operate and not set up parallel structures. There are cases, and I think Haiti is a valid one, where if we are supporting structures or certainly being told, and we don't generally respond well to governments that tell us that you must fund this or that. That's something we make our own judgment of. But there are cases where we can't do that. And this is one where we would be happy to continue the dialogue and work with you on it, because I think we share a concern about Haiti, but also a concern about the challenges that you point out.
Thank you.